All right, what up, people? It's your boy Chig from Gooner Eagle Eye coming to you again with a review of the Arsenal versus Man United game. And as you can see, I've got some company. Your favorite Man United supporter, apparently. Stel has come to join me. Say hello to the people, Stel.
Bonsoir, monsieur. Comment ça va?
So, I must admit, you told me that you fully expected Arsenal to comfortably win.
Yeah, mate.
I said you are mad because I felt like at the very least Jose would want to hold on to his unbeaten run. I felt like there was zero chance of Arsenal actually playing well for once. I was pleasantly surprised to be wrong on both. What did you think about the result overall?
The result, I'm not surprised about. The performance, I'm not surprised about. To be fair, first half I wasn't disappointed. I did the 4 jigsaw puzzles with my daughter. I ate some chewits. I took the rubbish out. But no, in all seriousness, I did those things. But no, I mean, let's be honest. We had a couple of chances. You had a couple of chances. It seemed like the opening 3 rounds of a heavyweight boxing match, where it seems, both the opponents were feeling each other out. As I said, you guys had a couple of clear-cut chances. We had a couple. Rooney's chance where he hit it straight at Czech is the most disappointing thing for me, because he had Mata square. Okay, maybe he didn't see him, but you should be putting those chances away. A player of his, shall I even say standard? I don't think he's even at a world-class standard. He hasn't been a world-class standard for years. But with his experience and his goal-scoring record, he should be putting that chance away. Other than that, okay, it was a deflected goal. Keeper couldn't do too much about it. It was a good strike. I mean, I rate Xhaka. I mean, I've been tweeting about him for ages, and Arsenal fans have been giving me stick, but I like him. I like him as a footballer. I think he's very intelligent. It's his first season as well, and people need to get off his back. You can't expect miracles. Okay, he's got a bad disciplinary record, but he's good on the ball. He's intelligent. He's always looking for a pass. I think his one weakness is that he doesn't track back enough, and when he does, he doesn't make an attempt to win the ball. I think Ramsey was your best player. I think had a very good performance. I know you're not a fan of his, but I was impressed by him. His running box to box was fantastic. But on the whole, I think we did all right up until we went a goal down. I think Tuanzebe had a fantastic game. I'm not one of these people who say, he had Sanchez in his pocket, because let's be honest, Sanchez did start off pretty well, and the kid was a bit nervy at the beginning.
That kid impressed me.
He's a central defender, Chris. He's a central defender. Yeah. And we've known about him for the past 4 or 5 years. So, he's one of the few impressive products that we got coming through, to be fair. I've been saying it for ages, and I've known this for a while. United haven't invested in the youth academy for the past 6 or 7 years. And it's only been recently that since Brian Leclerc left and then Nicky Butt came in to take the reins, we've only really started looking into it. So we've seen Rashford, Lingard, and, Welbeck come through and whatnot. But in terms of a next batch, I don't know when that will come through, but I digress a bit. But overall, okay, fair result as far as I'm concerned. You took your chances. But again, it just shows our deficiencies at the back, Chris, and the depth that we have. People say United spent a lot of money, but then when you look at the cover that we've had, Smalling's come in, Jones has come in. Smalling is dog shit. I've been saying this for ages. He just reminds me of a camel. That's the only way I could describe him. He's a camel. After the Chelsea game, when we lost 4-0, I hoped to never see him in a United shirt. I hoped for more things to happen to him, ones that I can't repeat on your show because you're a family show. Phil Jones is, well, you try, but I can't say, well, okay, thrown to ISIS, that's what I said. But Phil Jones, he's more useful. In fact, to be honest, Phil Jones is only good at injuring himself and other people. Darmian, I've always said he's an Italian left back that can't defend. De Gea, again, for the first goal, he had no chance. For the second, he should have come out to catch that. Romero would have. Why didn't De Gea? But again, like I said, I'm rambling on. It was a fair result. I can't complain. But the one thing I have to say about this is that it means more to you guys than us.
Yeah, it does. It does.
And to be fair, if we didn't have a second leg for the Europa League on Thursday, we'd have fielded a stronger side. I'm not saying it wasn't a strong team, but you should have beaten that team, and you did. So fair play.
Yeah, Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I feel like, to be honest with you, I mean, like you say, it was still a strong team of a lot of experienced players, bar your right back, really. But to tell you the truth, the way Arsenal played last week, even they didn't win a cert. A lot of Arsenal fans thought this would be a boring draw. A lot of Arsenal fans.
First half, it was, mate.
And it was just same old, really. It was just you set up the way we expected you to set up, and as us as Arsenal fans, every week we play like this. So it's kind of like sometimes you might have a little bit more intensity than other times, but generally we have the same patterns, the same type of play. I do agree with you. Listen, everybody knows I cannot stand Ramsey, but I thought his off the ball running was, particularly in the first half, was supreme. It was supreme. Do I believe he deserved man in the match? I think Gary needs to calm down with that. I would have said no. I felt like Ox was a bit better player today. I felt like he caused a lot of problems down that right-hand side and ultimately got 2 assists for his troubles as well. But I felt like you guys kind of failed to have this off-the-ball running that I thought Herrera was really good with when it came to Chelsea and Hazard. Like, Hazard was in the back of Herrera's pocket, and I kind of expected that to happen with people like Ramsey today, but I guess maybe the players didn't really kind of feel like Ramsey would do anything.
No, I don't think it's that, Chris. I don't think it's that at all. Listen, you know me. I will be critical of my club. I will slate the players if they deserve it. I'm not one of these United fans that chats a lot of shit about the club. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying, oh, United are the best team in the country when they're clearly not. This is the way I see it, and this is me being 100% honest. This was the best lineup you guys could have put out, because I don't know how many injuries you have, or if you've got any. I don't know the Arsenal squad too tough, but when I look at that on paper, that's the team that Wenger set out to beat United. When I look at our team, Mourinho set that team out to avoid defeat. Had it been a game that we needed to win, we would have won it.
Yeah,
I think we would have won it, because if you look at it, there's no Pogba, there's no Bailly. Bailly makes a massive difference. Valencia at right back. Without
taking anything away too much from our performance, which I thought once we scored the goal, it kind of became a little bit easy. But you did feel like almost United weren't as bothered. It still won't take away from our enjoyment because of our hatred, well, Arsenal fans' hatred for Jose. I'm not going to lie, I want Wenger out all day long. But I'm so happy that this hoodoo of Jose constantly beating this fool in every single game that you guys play us. I'm so glad that's now off us. Even if it's in a game that, like you say, is effectively dead, because quite frankly, if you're going to ask me if we're now in the top 4 Reds, I'm going to tell you no.
Well, we still need that remains to be seen.
We still need Liverpool to fuck up a couple more times.
Listen, they've got West Ham away soon. Next week. Is it next week?
You mark my words, they'll be West Ham. They've got 2 games to worry about. We've still got 4. Like, I just can't see us getting it. I hope we do, but I can't. Well, I say I hope we do. I hope we finish as strong as we can possibly finish. I've always said that. For me, why I say that is the top 4 has become less and less of a priority to me, because my attitude is, why are we trying to qualify for a competition that we never, ever seem to bother doing well in? And for me, it's more about, I guess there is an appeal of, obviously, if you are in the Champions League, you are able to attract the likes of, these players that we're being constantly linked with. They are going to think twice if we're not in the Champions League, and I get that. But for me, it's more important for us, just for us, to win games, build momentum. Because effectively, what we're doing, our season entirely hinges on that FA Cup final.
Yeah, I see your point.
That's what.
Yeah. Well, the same goes for us in the Europa League, man. I mean, like I said, we played I'm not going to say it was a weak team, but it was a team that you should be beating. Smalling and Jones just come back from injury. I mean, Jones hasn't played for a couple of months. Smalling played 10 minutes against Celta Vigo. As I said, the right back is making his debut, so that just leaves Darmian as really a senior or a regular defender. Michael Carrick, he was going to play to dictate the tempo in the middle of the park. He didn't get to do it, but he also sat in front of the back four and protected the two central defenders. Herrera, I was surprised that he played, but then again, we don't have any others midfielders because Fellaini is suspended. So granted, it was obvious that he was going to play. Rooney played in the middle of the park. He's finished. He's an embarrassment. Get rid of him. I think he's going to go anyway.
2 opportunities. There was one in particular where he had 2 efforts. One kind of went just past the corner, and I thought to myself, okay, we need to watch this because this guy has a habit of scoring against us. And then there was one that was really easier, which I think you referred to earlier.
It's a one-on-one.
More or less by himself, and I thought to myself, just get down target, and he hit it over again, and I'm like, oh my gosh!
He hit it straight. He hit it straight at Peter Cech, mate. And this is what I'm saying. Like when you're 6 yards out, and a guy that's the leading goal scorer, okay, fair enough. The goalkeeper narrowed the angle, and I get it that you've only got a split second to make a decision, but you're a international striker that's got the most goals in United's history for England. You should be putting those away. And again, I'm not going to make him the scapegoat because it was overall. I mean, look, Mkhitaryan, right? I don't know where to begin with him because I don't want to be too harsh because again, it's his first season, same with Xhaka. But right now, I'm just seeing a bag of Watsits with legs because he gets brushed off the ball. Like I'm thinking, you got like 50 assists in 2 seasons at Dortmund or Fraudmund, as I like to call him. And I'm like, you're just like the Armenian Kagawa, bruv. Like, what's going on? Okay, Martial, he's turning into Bellion on steroids. What the fuck? I'm seeing these players, but I can't be too critical about them today because I didn't expect us to win. I expected them to be in first gear, which they was because of the second leg. None of these players wanted to get injured. I would not be surprised if Mourinho said, look, just try and keep the ball as much as possible. Mata and Mkhitaryan, just support the fullbacks because we know that you guys have got width and pace with Chamberlain and Gibbs. And it worked in the first half. And as I said, it took a deflected goal. And again, I'm not taking that away from you guys because, like I said, I like Xhaka. But at the same time, you guys only started going when you scored. Had that ball gone over the bar, it would have probably ended 0-0 because, as I said, we're just feeling each other out. That's all it was. When you guys scored, you smelt blood. Yeah. And again, you got the second, and the game was effectively over. You lot didn't even try to go for a third. That's like how, it. Exactly. I mean, we went 4-4-2. Didn't really do anything. Lingard got nutmegged. The ball, he was on his own. Rooney's played the crossfield ball to the other side. He's on the touchline. He's nutmegged himself. I mean, you're paying 75 bags a week for that.
I really don't rate Lingard. I keep having arguments with my friend about this.
Tell your friend he's a dickhead. He's shit.
I've always said it. I don't understand. Yes, he scores the occasional spectacular goal. So does Giroud. It doesn't make them any good. It doesn't make
Chris, the argument I hear from people is like, oh, he scored 2 goals in cup finals. Ben Watson scored the goal for Wigan in the cup final. What should he be on 75 bags a week playing for United? No. The only reason
to be fair, Lingard... all clubs have stupid fans like that. Like I saw an argument last season about us holding on to Flamini because he scored 2 goals against Tottenham. And in my mind, I'm like, so
no. See, this person wanted Flamini because he knows Flamini could buy the club. Have you seen how much money the guy's got?
I know. He's a rich boy now.
Keep the guy sweet, man. Doesn't matter. Play him a couple of times a season. Play him. Keep him happy. He'll buy the club. He'll get rid of Kroenke and them. Don't worry. Can you imagine Flamini owning Arsenal? It's mad.
So let's just get it out of the way just because John Silver in the chat room is going crazy for 2 things.
No, what have I said now?
He still wants to know if you still don't rate De Gea, particularly after today. He made a couple of really good saves.
Yeah. Okay. Did anyone see his positioning for Sigurdsson's goal last week? Did you see it?
I saw it. Gap. Are you really gonna fault him for it?
No, listen. I'm the free kick was quality. Don't get me wrong, but if you're a world-class goalkeeper, you're saving that, or you're doing something about it. He gave him about 8 yards. He gave him 8 yards. How is that goalkeeper going to cover 8 yards with a free kick that speed? I'm sorry. Look at his passing today. Listen, I'm telling you this. He does not want to play for the club. He's just doing the bare minimum. He's out. He's going to Real Madrid in the summer.
Who would you replace?
It's tough to say, man, because there aren't any world-class goalkeepers out there.
so for those
Manuel Neuer isn't available.
those of you who are like wondering what is going on right now, the last time Stel came on here, he caused a mini riot. As soon as he said the words, I don't think De Gea is world class, and then went on to say, I don't rate Manuel Neuer, right? As
Well,
soon as he said that,
I actually said he was the German Bartes, but yeah.
there you go. You heard it from his mouth. So as soon as he said that, there was a mini stampede headed his way, right? so
yeah, but what did I also say?
Every time
Every
time I see De Gea make a world class save, I basically say to Stel, so what do you reckon about that? Kind of the way I say to Lee Gunner whenever Ozil plays well. I say to Lee, so superstar watch, what do you reckon? What do you reckon? It'll be like, yeah, he's all right. And Stel says the same thing.
Listen, the saves that the saves that De Gea made today, any goalkeeper should be saving them. It's not as if he was like fingertip saves. He should be saving them. If you're on 100 grand a week and you're playing for Man United and you're a world-class goalkeeper, you should be making those saves. What I said the last time I came on your show is that my interpretation of the word world-class differs from other people's. When I hear the word world-class, I think of goalkeepers or players that will be in all-time 11s. Would De Gea be in an all-time 11? Would he be ahead of Casillas, Buffon, Dino Zoff, Peter Schmeichel? He wouldn't. So that's.
But my question to you about that was: is De Gea an Arsenal fan? I hate United with every fibre of my bone, but as an Arsenal fan, even I say he's the best keeper in the league. Full stop.
Well, listen, we're going to go back and forth. We're going to go back and forth with this because you're going to say one thing. I'm going to disagree when it comes to David De Gea. But the one thing I will say though, when you ask me who is the world-class goalkeeper right now, I said Buffon. Yeah? He's 40 years old. He's at Juventus. He's been there for 17 years. And interestingly enough, he's on the verge of getting into the Champions League final. He hasn't conceded a goal in the knockout phase. And who hasn't scored against him? Lionel Messi, best player ever, yeah?
True.
So all these people...
And the manager in charge of that, I want you got haters, AKBs. Just remember who's the manager of Juventus. Oh, please, God, let it happen, please.
Oh, you never know. Stranger things have happened, mate. Stranger things.
So, who is the player in terms of getting back on track? Because otherwise we'll get completely sidetracked.
Yeah, and your notifications will go mad, won't they?
What are your 1 to 10 ratings for your United players
today?
So
Today, I'd give De Gea a 6 out of 10.
Okay.
Because apart from the goals he conceded and a couple of saves, he had nothing else to do.
Yeah,
Tuanzebe, I'll give him a 9 purely because it was his debut. He had a very good game.
Your best player.
Absolutely.
100%.
Jones and Smalling, I'll give them 5s because that's what they are. They're 5s out of 10s. They're frauds. Darmian.
I forgot he was playing.
Darmian's a 5. Carrick is a 6. Rooney is a 6. Herrera is a 7 because he's a 7 out of 10 player every game. Mata, I'll give him an 8 because he's been out for so long to come in a game like this.
Effectively, Mata was suspect.
Yep. And do you know what? I'm going to say this. I probably shouldn't because I heard a rumor and I don't want to say, okay, I'm going to say it's from a good source, but I don't want to say that it's 100%. So please don't take my word for it. Like I said, it's just a rumor. But I heard that Mata actually wasn't out with a groin injury and it was a form of cancer. That's what I heard.
Oh, wow.
I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to confirm it. It could be just bollocks. That's what I heard. It's a rumor. That's what I heard. It could have been it may have been a form of cancer that kept him out. Like I said, I don't know how true that is, so don't take it as gospel. But that's what I heard. Martial, I'll give him a 7 because he did a lot of running today. He should have scored his chance.
First 20 minutes, I thought he was on fire, to be fair.
He did very well. He gave you something to think about, and it's something I haven't seen from him. Working hard, something I haven't seen from him for like ever. I remember Burnley away the other week. He worked hard, but he had a half decent game. Who else? Mkhitaryan, 6 out of 10. What's it? So yeah, that's it. Our best player was Tuanzebe and Mata and Martial. There you go in that order. So yeah.
I think from an Arsenal perspective, I was a bit surprised by the lineup. In spite of the fact he played well, was not expecting Ramsey to start. Well, I was just because he's Wenger's blue-eyed boy, but Outside of that, I was hoping he wouldn't start. Very shocked that Bambi, aka Gabriel, was dropped, and Monreal was played as a centre back again, which was like okay. But was happy that Holding started, even though I'll come back to Holding, and I was happy with Welbeck. Generally, my marks out of 10 was this. I thought Czech was solid, didn't really have that many problems or anything major to deal with. His distribution is still a bit weird to me, but I'll give him a 6 out of 10. Didn't do anything majorly wrong. The three centre backs, I thought Koscielny was very good. Very good. Other than one dodgy moment where he got completely outpowered. But I thought the rest of the game, I thought he came back into it. I'd give him an 8 out of 10. Holding, oh man. When he gave that ball to Rooney, I was like, oh, brother, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Do you know what, Chris?
In a little way, I blame Koscielny a little bit because I think he could have helped him out a little bit there.
Chris, you know what? Sorry to interrupt you, mate, but I think Rob Holding has done incredibly well since he's come into the side. Don't forget,
we love him.
He's a youngster. You could tell there's something about him that you know he's going to be an England player one day. Not like Chambers. He's a much different proposition to Chambers. Chambers is balsa wood, mate. But
I think he's got a better potential than Chambers. Even though I think Chambers, considering Middlesbrough on the verge of relegation, so I need to kind of comment a little bit. But I actually think he's played pretty well for Middlesbrough, all things considered.
Yeah, but listen, let's be 100% honest. When Rob Holding has started, he seems very assured. It's almost as if he's been at the club since he was a younger kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? He reminds me of, I don't want to go over the top here. And again, like I said, I'm not going over the top, but he reminds me of a very young John Terry. Like, not when John Terry broke into the Chelsea team, but when he was at youth level. He had that kind of, like I said, that assured presence. He was, and he's an intelligent defender. Don't get me wrong. He made that mistake, but again, that's youth. And as you said, maybe he should have been given a call by his players. I think he's a very good talent, man. And when people signed him, they were like, oh, who's this player from Bolton? Listen, if you're 18, 19, and you're a regular at that level at League Two, you've got to be half decent, man. Because, let's be honest, a lot of teams don't trust youth.
Don't trust youngsters. Yeah.
A lot of teams don't. And Arsenal ain't going to spend money on an English youngster if they don't think he's half decent.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, any Arsenal fan will tell you, since the moment the man stepped, I'd argue he's been the best out of the summer signings. To be honest.
Well, I can't remember who you signed. You signed Xhaka, you signed...
And yes, I do include Perez in that. As much as I love Perez, he's the one that impresses me the most. When you consider his age, the league he's come from, and the fact that he's seemingly transitioned into it. Even though I don't think he had a great game today, I thought considering he made that major error, there's a lot of people that would have had their heads down and would have constantly thought about it. And Chambers has had a couple of games like that, for example. But I actually thought he got better and better and better.
But the thing is, if you look at his performance against City in the semi-final, listen, it's not very often that Aguero doesn't get a kick against a 19. How old is he? 18, 19?
He's 19.
19, yeah. So it's very rare that a world-class striker like Aguero, and I say world-class because he is. He's a fantastic striker as Aguero. When he's not injured, when he's 100%, there isn't a better striker in the Premier League as far as I'm concerned. I think he's phenomenal. And I'll say that with gritted teeth because as a United fan, I fucking can't stand City. And then what he did, that last-minute goal against QPR, killed us. But he's a good player. He needs time, but the problem is these days you got two sets of fans. Oh, sorry, three. You got the ones that are prepared to give him time. You got ones that expect instant results and instant performances, instant 9s out of 10s because he's a wonder kid. And you got the other ones that are sitting on the fence and like, oh, I don't know, is he any good? Oh yeah, but he's having a good game. Yeah, he's good. And then next week he's shit. I think he's a good player. And if Wenger stays or whichever manager comes in, whatever the situation is, I hope they trust him and I hope they don't loan him out because we've seen glimpses of how good he can be. And I think if he has an assured presence with him, Not Koscielny, because I don't think Koscielny fills people with confidence, to be fair. If you have a central defender with more experience, a cooler head, you'll see him blossom into a better player. But what's going on with Kieran Gibbs, by the way? Because I know that you had Ashley Cole, and then you sold Ashley Cole because you had Clichy there, and then Clichy was sold because Kieran Gibbs was there. What's happened with him? Because he was half decent when he first broke into the team. Well, why has he just turned average?
So Gibbs, who incidentally I thought had a 6 out of 10 game. I'll tell you what, the thing with Gibbs, what a lot of people have liked about Gibbs in the past is that the fact that he's very quick, he's very mobile, very attacking. There's not a football fan in the land that doesn't like those qualities in a fullback. The problem is that what we've realized over the years is that he doesn't have a lot else to his game. Can't cross, he can't really pass. Defensively, he's not that sound. So then when you really strip it back, what does he have? And I think a lot of people would rather Monreal there. The only reason people were wanting to take Monreal out of the team early in the season is because his form dropped. Had his form not dropped, there is not a single Arsenal fan, whether you're a troll or you're not, that would have said, you know what, I'd have Gibbs over Monreal because Monreal has more attributes. Monreal can cross a ball. I think Monreal is a better goal threat. I think Monreal is better defensively. And I think he can read the game a lot better than Gibbs.
He's more intelligent, Chris. He's more intelligent. Let's be 100% honest. I mean, if he's...
I didn't want to say it like that, but yeah.
No, listen. Let's be honest. And again, I'm trying to be straight up with you here. If you look at the Spanish national team, right? My good friend David Bardsley, who used to play for Queen's Park Rangers back in the day, he was at right back, and he rarely got a game for England because ahead of him he had Lee Dixon, he had Paul Parker, he had Gary Stevens, and even he says it. He goes, I was unlucky because I had so many great defenders in front of me. It was difficult to get into the team. And that's the same with Monreal. He's found it so difficult to get into the Spanish national team lineup because of the players that he's had in front of him. And when you've got players like Jordi Alba and all these other players, like I said, who's the left back? Capdevila, all these players, how it's difficult for him to get into the side, regardless of which club you play for. If the manager's got a favourite and he's got certain players that he knows can do that role better than others, he's going to play them, regardless of how good they are at club level. And I think he's been a fantastic defender for you guys. And listen, we do it as well at United. We're guilty of doing it. Every club's guilty of doing it. You have a player who's got so much experience, and because they're not hitting 7 out of 10s and 8 out of 10s and isn't making the squawky 11 of the week, all of a sudden it's like, oh, they're shit. I mean, you've missed Santi Cazorla so much, man. He's such a fantastic footballer. When you signed him, I was like, this geezer's the real deal, man. When City signed David Silva, I was like, yeah, he's decent. But when you signed Cazorla, I was like, yeah, man, he's a cracking footballer. You missed him. But I think Xhaka can be that player, man. I think Xhaka's a fantastic player. Talk to me this time next season. I'll tell you, Xhaka's been fantastic. Tell me.
I must admit, you are a big fan of Xhaka. You have said that to me privately.
But brother,
well.
He reminds me of how Carrick was in his hey. He reminds me how Carrick used to be. Like he gets the ball and he always looks for first, but he looks for a pass. And I said he needs he needs that year. He needs this year to bed in, to learn how to play this system that Arsenal are playing. Because don't forget, in the Bundesliga, he's getting the ball, he's powering forward. He's not asked to do that at Arsenal. Right, for the Swiss national team, he's asked to go box to box. Arsenal is not. He's been told to play that Carrick role, that quarterback role, which I hate using that term. But he says, get the ball, look up, play a pass. And that's the thing, because you've got someone like Ozil that can do that, but higher up the pitch, it's not allowing Xhaka to do that. Personally, I think that Ozil is hampering Xhaka's development because Xhaka's better on the ball than Ozil. That's my honest opinion.
I agree. A lot of people believe that Ramsey and Xhaka work well in tandem. I'm yet to be convinced by that, despite today's result.
They need games together, bruv. They need games together. You can't expect it to be.
Having said that, I do agree with what you're saying about Ozil and Xhaka. Right? I just think what you often find is that because Xhaka, one criticism I have of Xhaka is I find he doesn't move the ball very quickly. So it takes him a while to make a decision, and then by the time he's made it, he's either been closed down or that pass that he was trying to attempt has put the other player in trouble because it's taken him so long. and I just wish he'd transition the play a little bit quicker. And I think Ozil is very much like that as well. My biggest criticism with Ozil is that A, he's not strong on the ball, and B, he doesn't transition the play quickly enough. It's almost like he has 5 things he wants to do, and then by the time he pulls off one, half of the time he messes it up. And that's my issue with Ozil. Even though I actually thought Ozil, as the game went on, because I thought first half he was poor, but as the game went on, I thought he started to find his feet and cause you guys problems in the end as well. But anyway, let me bang out my 1 to 10. So I think Holding I'd give a 7 to. I thought he improved as the game went on. I thought Monreal did pretty well. I'd give him a 7 as well. Right wing back Ox, I'd give him a 9 out of 10. I thought he was superb, absolutely superb. Left wing back Gibbs, I'd give him a 6. Xhaka, I'd give him an 8. I thought, again, as the game grew on, I thought he began to influence the game. I wouldn't go as far as to say boss the midfield, but definitely towards the back end of the second half, I thought he was a major reason why we started to control the game, and then until he was eventually brought off. Ramsey, hey, I can't stand Ramsey, but I'll give credit where credit is due. His off-the-ball running was fantastic, and I can't believe I'm actually going to say this. I'll give him an 8 out of 10. I thought he was brilliant today. I really did. I thought Ozil was good. I don't think he was spectacular as people are making out on Twitter, but I thought he was good. 7 out of 10. And I thought, Welbs, this is why I've been calling for Welbeck to start games, because, listen, the man can't finish for crap. He can't. He just can't. But what I will say about him, in spite of the fact that he scored, is that his movement outweighs sometimes the need for him to finish. I would rather have a Welbeck who is going to at least make us look like a danger by how he runs and how mobile he is, than Giroud, who doesn't score, doesn't move, doesn't run, doesn't try, doesn't even have the strength these days to hold up a player. So what on earth is he in the team for? Week in, week out. And I feel like the system just suits Welbeck better than it does Giroud. And that's what happened today. And he scored a brilliant header. And I actually thought Welbeck's off-the-ball movement was also really good. And I'd give him
That's what you're going to get. That's what you're going to get from him, okay? Because let's be honest, Welbeck is quicker than Giroud, right? He's a more instinctive striker than Giroud. I wouldn't say he's better in the air, but the thing is his movement and his leap is better. So when you've got a player like Welbeck and Sanchez who are constantly on the run, it allows players like Xhaka and Ozil the opportunities to release the ball. And like I said, you got Ramsey making those box-to-box runs. So this is what I'm saying about Arsenal. When you're saying that, Xhaka and Ozil are restricted, it's because you don't have runners. They're looking for that pass, but there isn't anyone making those runs. That's why you're so effective playing this new system, because you've got your wing backs, as they call them, or what I know them as, bombing forward. You've got 2 players in behind the front man, and you've got Welbeck, who's happy to come deep, collect the ball, lay it off, and then make that spinning run. Which is why I'm surprised that Wenger didn't switch the system earlier on in the season. Sorry. But listen, it's easy for me to say, oh, look at what's happening now, because I've only just seen Arsenal properly today. I'm not going to lie to you, I haven't been watching 90 minutes of every single Arsenal game this season. I don't support Arsenal, so why would I? But as I said, when you've got players like Xhaka and you've got Ozil there and you've got Sanchez, you can keep a core. I don't see why you can't challenge for honours. I don't see why you can't. Listen, you need to get rid of a lot of deadwood like us. It's not all doom and gloom. And listen, let me tell you something. As good as Tottenham have been this season, have they really improved? Because apart from coming second, they've done pretty much the same as they did last season in the past 10, 11 years, and that's really nothing.
Better, but you're right in a way. I don't think they're any more of an attacking force than they were last season. I think defensively they've stopped giving them, in spite of their loss this past Friday, which I laughed at. They've stopped giving away silly little goals. They have played like more of a unit, and that's what I want us to do. I still believe today, as laughable as it sounds, I still believe it. Player for player, we have better players than Tottenham. I don't care what anyone tells me. But this season, can't say that. You can't. There's no evidence to suggest that that's the case. On paper, we have more talented players, in my opinion. But there's nothing on to say that. And the only thing I can attribute that to is mentality, is confidence, is playing as a team. Where should all this messages be coming from? The manager. The manager, the same manager who's set to sign a 2-year extension. This is the problem we have as Arsenal fans. Because as Arsenal fans, we can't agree with when we should do something, who we should root against, who we should protest against. And there was a protest organised today before the game against Wenger. And I wonder if that will get any coverage, or I wonder if, as per usual, the media will focus on a small element of it, on either the fact that there wasn't that many fans there, and they're trying to make it out like the divide in the Arsenal fan base of the people who want Wenger out compared to the people who want Wenger in is really quite small. They try and make it look like we're quite insignificant, which really pisses me off, because then it makes Wenger feel confident that his position is not under threat. It gives the wrong message to the board that we as Arsenal fans don't really want a change. Or do they start focusing on the fact that the fans infight a lot? And that is on us, because we do infight a lot.
Chris, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
Only Arsenal fans would argue about something like that.
Let me tell you something, Chris. Let me tell you something. I'm doing this at my mum's house because, you know, my missus chucked me out today because I was pissed off about something. But anyway, that's another thing. So, no, I'm joking. But I was rummaging through some old stuff I've got, old Man United memorabilia, because I used to have a season ticket and I used to go home and away everywhere. Went to Moscow and did all that kind of nonsense. And I found these, right? I found this, right? This is a Love United, Hate Glazer banner we used to take to games. You see that?
I remember it.
Yeah.
I remember the banner well.
Yeah, green and gold. Here's another one. Glazers out. Yeah, Independent Man United Supporters Association used to give us these things before games to take to the ground. When the Glazers took over United, they came to Manchester and the fans protested. This is even before games, before the first game of the season. They challenged them. Right, they left in a police van. Right, their lives were at risk because United fans lost their shit about this. What's happened? 10 years, 15 years later, they're still here. Right? No amount of protests is going to make a difference. If these people don't want to sell, they're not going to sell. So you lot are wasting your time saying, oh, Kroenke out, this and that. He's sitting in a ranch in the middle of fucking America, chilling with his fucking cocktails. He doesn't give a shit. So there's no point in saying, oh, well, the board needs to change. Because, as I said, they're just sitting there saying, well, you know, Man United fans were protesting in the ground. We had banners taken down. We were taking banners in Love United. I've got a massive one. It's about 7 feet long. I took it to Wembley, bruv. They wouldn't let me take it in the ground. Wembley.
To be fair to us, though, what I will say is you're correct, but I know that today's protest, for example, was specifically about Wenger. Specifically about him.
Yeah, but Geezer, listen, I'm not trying to be funny, but if you feel if you're so angry about Wenger, why aren't you chucking stones at his house? Why aren't you fucking doing stuff and threatening him? This is what I'm saying. Like, I'm not condoning it. But if this was in Greece or Turkey or in Italy, you lot will be going to their fucking houses and knocking on their doors and saying, "Why are you still here? You're shit. Fuck off." But this is what I'm saying. People are so passionate about it, but yet it's all well and good going on YouTube and going on Arsenal Fan TV saying, "Oh, Wenger out and we're going to do protests." Go to his yard and say, "Fuck off." But see, here's the thing: if people feel so passionate about it, do something about it. Make him fear for his life, so he has to leave.
But that's what worries me. Listen, for me, I want him to leave. You will never see me say any different. Having said that, I'm not trying to run the man out of his house. I ain't trying to call him a cunt this and fuck off this and leave this, and if you don't leave, I'll kill. I'm not, No,
but this is what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you should. I'm not saying you should. But what I'm saying is, if this was any other country, right? Listen, my family come from Cyprus. Yeah, some fans put a bomb in the referee's car last season because he made bad decisions. They put a bomb outside his yard in his car. Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. If people feel so So they're so passionate about, they want Wenger out, we hate him, he's fucking up our club. Tell him to his face. Don't wait for him to come outside the ground to get in his, don't wait for him to get inside his murk and say, oh, can I have a picture with you? Oh, yeah. And then the next day it's like, oh, yeah, I took a selfie with him, but Wenger out. What the fuck is this shit from?
But to be fair, though, ultimately, listen, and there will be a lot of people that will disagree with what they're saying. And those people that disagree, look in yourself deep down. Ultimately, people respect the man. Full stop.
You respect him, but you respect him, but you're prepared to make protests about him. But it doesn't make sense. It's double negative.
But you say that you can still want change and still respect someone.
No.
Listen, no, bro. How can you say that? Listen, I love my mum dearly. I respect her dearly. But that woman sometimes tracks the most amount of gas.
You're comparing your mum to Arsene Wenger, bruv.
Let's go for it, yeah? Sometimes she talks the most amount of gas and I have to sit there on the phone and I'm like, oh my. Sometimes, truth be told, and I know she don't watch this channel, so I can say this. Truth be told, when she's on one, I mute the phone, hold it to one side, carry on watching TV. I ain't got time for that.
But listen, bruv, your mum ain't gonna say I didn't see it. She's gonna clip you around your ear.
Yeah, but you say this, but this is what I'm trying to like that. But this is what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is a lot of people will be sat there thinking, well, why don't you just tell your mum to shut up? Brother, have you ever told a black woman to shut up when she's in full flow? You go do that, see how well that works out for you. Go see how well that works out. I ain't trying to tell my mum to shut up. Like, I should, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm never gonna do that. And it's just a simple thing with Wenger. People want him to leave. People were desperate for him to just say to, if he had come out 2-3 months ago and said, listen, taking this club as far as I can take him, I'm going to go. You think there'll be protests today? No. People just say, all right, let's just sit here, grit, bear it, take it. Next season, we'll rebuild. It's the fact that he doesn't come out and clarify one way or another what he's doing, and it's angering people, it's upsetting people. People are actually looking at it thinking, well, he's disrespecting me, so why the hell am I respecting him? And that's the way people are looking at it. I can understand that anger.
Yeah, Giza, but see, here's the thing. It's like I said, you're doing these protests, but he's like, whatever. There's only like 30 people doing it, so what's the point? You're not even playing knockdown ginger at his house. That's like how minimal the pressure is on him to leave. You ain't even knocking on his door and running away, or even like shitting on his doorstep and running away, or shitting in a bag and then lighting it on his doorstep, like we used to do, like to people we did like at school. That kind of stuff. Like, I don't understand. Like, put a letter through his letterbox and say, please go. Not even that. You lot ain't even doing that. You lot ain't even creating letters, yeah, on pretty paper, headed paper, and sending it to his house. Why? I'll tell you where Wenger lives. I know where he lives. I'll give you his address now.
Arsenal fans will know where he lives. Don't you worry about it. And the funny thing,
they probably know his barber. There's some Greek guy in Palmer's Green that probably knows his barber and cuts his hair. And he's got photos of him on the walls. But then when he goes to the game, he's like, Wenger out, you bastard. That kind of shit.
And listen, and you assume that stuff ain't happening. These football people always receive death threats. They always receive threats. But ultimately, at the end of the day, as much as I want him gone, I'm not going to start stoning him for not leaving already.
He ain't Jesus, so he ain't gonna stone him.
Well, that's the thing. Lots of people are saying that. It's like, well, you should go one way or another. Either you should respect him, but the thing is that yes, we can respect him, but we're also not going to sit on our hands and wait for him to just take us to God knows where this season without letting the board know. No, don't just offer this idiot a contract for no reason. At least you had somewhat of a reason before. But if we don't have Champions League football, what exactly? I said this before on your show, bruv. I said it last week on your show. For those of you who haven't checked it out, I was on Shoot the Defense, Stel show. Go to his Twitter. You'll find a link. Go listen to the show. It was a good show. And I said this before. I'm a HR person. If I was appraising Wenger and I was about to offer him a new contract, on what basis am I doing that? How am I rewarding him on contract when he's not shown me in his work positive results? It's as simple as that. Well, and yes, today was great. Today was great. Listen, don't get it twisted. If you just tuned in, you're thinking, blimey, you guys are on a downer. Today was a great result. I'm happy for him. that we've stopped this, we've broken the streak, and we've finally beaten this.
Does that really mean so much to you?
Yes, it does.
Fucking hell! Wow.
I'm happy that we stopped your 25 game run. Yes, that matters too. I'm happy because I hate United with all my core, and I hate Jose even more. Right? Don't get it twisted. All I'm saying is that in the long term, what I don't want this to be is for the board to say, all right, well, we've beaten United now, so Wenger, here's your 2-year contract. We're about to announce that Wenger's signed his 2-year contract.
Oh, mate, if he signs a new contract, I'm going to wet myself. Do you know that?
Ignorant enough to do that.
I'll come on your show every week and laugh if he signs a new contract. I'll be tweeting you every 5 minutes, even at like 2 in the morning.
You have Arsenal fans are divided. I have two good friends of mine on here, Colin and Lee, who potentially might be watching. Shout out to them if they are, and they are utterly convinced that Wenger is not only not going to stay, but that we've got some sort of replacement lined up. They are utterly. I wish I could feed off their confidence. I wish I could. They are utterly convinced. Whereas you have people who are the complete opposite side of the coin. People in the chat room right now are like, come on now. He's already signed his. I don't even know what the debate is. He's already signed his extension.
I think the debate is about. I think the debate is about me mentioning going to his house and throwing stones at him. But I think that's what
Well, yeah, John Silver is your basically your frenemy. He hates everything you say, but he loves you.
Okay, that's well. Thank you for your. Listen, I love every person that in your chat room, honestly, because they're cool guys. I mean, they might not like me, but I like them. That's fine. Someone has to hate me.
They're an interesting bunch.
Well, listen, listen. The way I see it with Arsenal Football Club, and this again, this is me being honest with you. You're a club with a rich history. They've had one of the best squads that this league has ever seen with the Invincibles. I remember watching Arsenal in the mid to late 80s with Michael Thomas scoring in Anfield in the last minute. You guys are winning the league on goal difference. The George Graham days. You lot winning the Cup Winners' Cup. Then obviously the whole Naeem thing and whatnot. So I've grown up respecting Arsenal, and I'm not going to deny it. I say I've got mates that support Arsenal. We've been through the good and bad. We had the banter in the early 2000s with, the toing and throwing with, us being totally shit with players like Bellion and Kleberson, and you lot then being totally shit with Squillaci and Beckner. And listen, you're a club with a rich history, a big club, biggest club in North London. I'm just saying it, and I'm not just saying it because it's your show. That you are the biggest club in North London historically, and if you want to talk about trophies and whatnot, you are. And you guys should be doing better, but so should United. But it's a transitional phase. Liverpool should be doing better. It happens, and football is a cycle, and we can't win every single fucking game. If we could, then it'd be boring, And this is the way I see it. Ride out the rest of the season, win that FA Cup, build on it. Whether he stays or goes, I know you guys are going to be supporting Arsenal. I know you guys are going to be going week in, week out, or doing your shows and whatever. And that's just how it is, man. Yeah. But as I said, you just got to ride with it, roll with the punch, and just enjoy the ride. Fuck. I mean, we had Ferguson for 26, 27 years, bruv. And then in comes David Moyes, and he just shits on everything. And Van Gaal comes in, he just makes it even worse. He makes our players. Today people were saying to me, oh, well, you lot were so negative and this and that. Well, yeah, as I said, our players were probably told to play this way because we've got a big game on Thursday. And my mate Harry from Sofa Sports News, big up Harry, he says, oh, United have fallen and you guys are going for the Europa League when you guys should be going for the Champions League. And I keep saying, we're not good enough to win the Champions League. The last time we were in the Champions League, and on my child's life, we were playing PSV Eindhoven in the Champions League. I was so bored. I told my missus, did you record Geordie Show? Sure, put it on. Because I could not be bothered to watch it. It was so poor. But now I'm happy to watch United because even though sometimes we're playing stale football, we've got a manager that's a winner. We've got a manager that's going to win us things. And he's already started. We won the League Cup. Old people say Tin Pot Club. I tell you what, if you're a club that is in transition and you want to be winning things, that's a start. When Chelsea started dominating, that was the first trophy that they won. You know, and listen, and as an Arsenal fan, you need to back your team, throw shit at Arsene Wenger when he goes in his house, and then just build on it. That's it. Literal shit from your own hand, like from your backside. Shit in your hand and throw at him.
Controversial as ever, Stel. Well, that's pretty much it from us. Let the people know where they can find you. I've already kind of mentioned the show a little bit, but mention it again.
I have a soccer/football show called Shoot the Defense. It's a very nice show. And I'm actually more serious on that than I am on here, so you might not enjoy it that much. But we have guests like yourself. We have Ryan Giggs' brother, on a regular basis. I've got a fellow called Mark Meredith that used to coach at Birmingham. He's now at Liverpool's academy in America. He comes on quite often. We do interviews with ex-players. I don't like name dropping because it makes me look like a fucking smartass. But yeah, we had name drop familiar names. David Hillier used to play for Arsenal. Lee Harper used to play at Arsenal back in the day when Wenger first joined. Who else? Oh, crikey. Brian Dean, Mikkel Beck, ex-Middlesbrough. Lately, I've been interviewing a lot of USL current players and coaches. USL is the second division in America. So you got MLS and then you got USL. So it's like a B league. I've been interviewing a lot of players, staff. There's a fella called Mike, who is the chief executive officer at Charleston Battery, which are based in North Carolina. He was actually on the FA's youth technical board. And he's the COO there now. He's a West Ham fan. He's from East London. He's actually mum and dad actually around the corner from where I live. So he's been coming on quite regularly. Nelson Rodriguez is the GM of Chicago Fire. He's been on. We're trying to get Schweinsteiger on, which is a possibility. Thanks to Frank Strazel, who's the communications officer. And I keep naming dropping, and you guys are like, who the fuck are these people? But yeah, we get guests on, ex-pros, coaches, whatever. We talk about grassroots football. We're into diversity as well, women's football, so into that kind of stuff. So we try and branch out, so to speak, and make it a brand more than anything. So yeah, give us a follow. We're on Twitter at Shoot the Defense. We have a Facebook group page. Do a search there, Shoot the Defense. We're on iTunes, FNX Network in Australia. What else? Stitcher. We used to be on that, but they kicked us off for some reason. iTunes, as I said. So yeah, that's it. Just me rambling on. I'm also on Twitter at @OnAMadness. You'll see me tweeting Chris at 2 o'clock in the morning when Wenger stays. And that's it. So thanks again for having me on, Chris. It's been an absolute pleasure, man.
Of course, no problem. And Stel's Twitter handle is in the description below in case you guys
describe.
In case you guys are curious. And also follow me on Twitter. Why not? I'm on Colossal Chig, CHIG. My handle's also in the description below. If you listen to me for the first time, this is what I do. You know, have people on occasionally, have a rant occasionally, praise Ramsey on a very rare occasion. So do hit that subscribe button if you want to hear and see more content from me.
Oh, one more thing.
Go.
Wenger out, John Silver in. Boom.
You've just made a friend for life in John Silver. I'm telling you that now. All right. Well, anyway, I'm out of here. Do subscribe, do share, like, thumb up. Hopefully you like this episode. And on to the next one. I'll do a preview for the next game, which I believe is Southampton away. I believe it is. And I'll do a preview for that probably on Thursday. All right, people. I'm out of here. Take care. Peace.